Hello and welcome to ABW. This is our post-game show for Arsenal 2, West Ham 1. After a day that was full of thrills, spills, loads of goals, Arsenal came along and made it a dull affair for everybody. And tonight, as we are now bringing these down to it's just the two of us. It's Danny who's joined me this evening. Hello, Danny.
Evening, Governor. You all right?
Yeah, very well, thank you. I just don't know how we really start with this game, to be honest, because it's
patient. I think that was the main thing. I expected to go out there and hammer them.
Yeah,
we didn't.
Not use the pun of hammer the hammers.
Yeah.
So where do we really start with the game? Only one change. Yeah, only one change from.
Kieran.
Two changes. Sorry. We saw Saka come in for Maitland-Niles Conservative, and Ceballos came in for Monani. Which
What'd you call him?
Monani. I can't bother with the L bit. So what did you think of I thought it was a bit harsh of Elneny being dropped or rotated out for Ceballos.
Well, I think it's been made very clear to him that if you are coming back to Arsenal, we're not going to ship you out on loan again or sell you just yet, that you are not going to be one of the main two. The main two is always going to be Ceballos and Xhaka. And I'm more surprised that he played the first game because Ceballos had only just come back to the club for maybe less than a week. And I think we probably won't see Elneny starting any games again. Although, like you're saying, he was pretty good when he played. Did the job. He can't complain about it. In fact, he probably made less mistakes in that Fulham game than Xhaka made in the game tonight. Because the first half he made a couple of mistakes. Well, again, a lot of people made a couple of mistakes, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that because it was. I think the first 25 minutes was. Should we say? What's the polite way for it? Horrific. I mean, we were all over the place in terms of the passing, and we couldn't string a decent pass together at all. Do you think West Ham had anything to do with that? Better opposition?
Well, I think they came expecting to not easily be able to win because they're in a team that's in a little bit of turmoil. I don't really think the players overly like the manager, that the fans don't like the stadium or the owners. And I know when Moyes came there in the first place, he was only there for a short term and he did well and he wanted more money and they said no. And so he left again. And then they got the Peregrine Falcon bloke in with the grey hair. Pellegrini. I got there eventually. So, and I think they might have been quite surprised because haven't you wondered why Saka hasn't played in the Cup final, the Charity Shield, and didn't start against Fulham? I think tonight we saw why. He doesn't look like there's something not right with him. There was so many balls he was giving away, and when he was getting it, he wasn't doing the pinpoint passing that he has done before. I mean, last season, 12 assists he got for us. And when you combine that with the fact that whenever the ball came to Willian, if he immediately tried to touch it off again, he was messing up and giving the ball away. And that reminded me of a tweet I saw from a bitter Chelsea fan who said, you wait until you start seeing Willian giving the ball away over and over. And he did that about 7 times in the first half. I mean, not that he has to. When the ball is kicked and it bounces to him, it's not like a pass. And then he wasn't controlling it properly. And he did give away a couple of stray passes as well. But I think West Ham just made the most of those little things there happening.
Yeah, I completely agree that we should have been 1 or 2-0 down by, I think, in the first 25 minutes because they were all over us. And as I say, we just couldn't string a pass together. And do you think Kieran Tierney getting injured in the warm-up made that a substantial difference? Or do you think because everybody was bad, it can't just put it down to poor Kolasinac and...
Well, I'm still sorting out all of our links because we're live on Facebook, people. Currently on Facebook. There's 6 people. Hold on, I'm going to type hello. I'm watching it and I thought, hold on, why is Xhaka talking to Kolasinac? Oh dear. Oh, don't tell me someone's injured. And then Mr. Collins, Scoop Collins, Laquiff, I went and checked him first. That's the first place I go when I want to know what's going on. And Collins said that he had a tight hip and they didn't want to risk it. And I thought, oh, right. So that means we're definitely playing 3 at the back. And then we're going to try and have Kolasinac running down that left-hand side. And for someone who, when was the last time Kolasinac even played a game? Do you know that without looking it up? Because I certainly don't.
I couldn't. It would have been last season. I think we saw him. Well, I don't think we saw him after Tierney was fit. Did we?
Someone, because it's only the two of us tonight, someone go and have a look and see when the last time that he did play. Actually, we're going to break a little bit of ABW history here. That was me. It's going to be Hussein Ghassan. Is that Hassan? No, Hassan. There's no. I'm not saying the G. The first person ever to say hello on Facebook, followed up by the scumbag that is Steve Rogers. Look at him. He's either loaded or he's blessed because she's far too good for you, you scumbag.
He doesn't look like Captain America at all.
Steve Rogers. Hold on, Steve's put ugly win makes you grin. Yeah, I'm coming from that tramp. Yeah, I've known him for a very long time. Oh, here we go. Another person on Facebook. Evening, gents. I'd like to report a mugging. Yeah, I think West Ham. What was the question you asked me before I went off on a tangent? Because I'm excited because we're streaming to 3 places at once. See, it's the future, Josh. Much like your pictures behind you that I think are fantastic. This is the future.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I have to say it's a lovely gift, both of these above me. The globe was already here.
Was it full of gin?
Full of gin. I mean, we might do that if we ever get a game that's slightly boring. We'll do a question on what's in my globe this evening. It'll be a new segment for ABW.
It could be a running segment when things get a little bit quiet. When we've had a 0-0 away at Bolton in the League Cup, I don't know, I made that up. You'd go, what's in the globe?
What's in the globe this evening, Josh?
We're off track as well, aren't we? We're already off a track. Quick, grab
we knew
it back
this would happen after 7 minutes, to be honest. And it was a bit like Arsenal. To be fair, we started it and we're a bit all over the place, but we did manage to snatch a goal. I think, Lacazette with a header.
Yep.
I think it came against the run of play, to be honest, even for an Arsenal goal. And as Arsenal fans, it was. What did you make of it?
I thought it's fantastic, and I was just waiting for the new VAR, the new offside, the new thing that now that UEFA control our VAR decisions and our offside decisions and all that. And I was just thinking, it's just like a couple of seasons ago when it first came in. You're thinking, I don't know. When a goal's no longer a goal, you need written confirmation from 3 by 3 signatures before you can celebrate. I celebrated anyway, and then I remembered, oh shit, this is probably going to be disallowed. But then it showed the replay, and then Saka coming running. Was it Saka? I think Xhaka gave it to Saka, because I remember thinking I'm going to say the Xhaka combination and then mess it up. And then Saka put it through to Aubameyang, and that was a gnat's testicle away from being offside. And then a wonderful. When I was watching it, people, I'm waving my hands like I know what I'm going on about, and you see Lacazette coming running in from the far right hand side. They are down our right hand side, and their left back, Musaka, the one who looks like the main bloke out of Ballers, very very handsome young man, and he's running in late, and I'm thinking only on the replay I saw that and thought, bloody hell, no one's marking him. You see Lacazette running in, giving it a swerve, giving it a shimmy, and jumps up, header. I mean, that is the kind of thing that wasn't so long ago, was it, that Lacazette would have put that over or missed it when he had no confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, to be honest, the confidence he's kind of got that back with his goal against Fulham last weekend, that he looks like, I wouldn't say our most potent forward because we still have Aubameyang in our forward line, but at the moment, yeah, he looks, it's great, and it's great for everybody at Arsenal if Lacazette is back and firing, because we've always had a history of great centre forwards.
I squealed like a little piggy when that goal went in. And then what else happened after that? I think then we had remember when we first went to the Emirates and Wenger was doing peak Wenger and we had all the dwarfs playing in midfield and it was pass.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where the crowd are shouting, shoot. If there'd have been a crowd there tonight, that's what we would have been shouting. Was that getting on your nerves? I mean, although it's clever to go, hey, ole, which no one was doing, but no, it was frustrating me that it was forward, back, for 5-6 minutes at a time.
I think the worst thing for me was seeing that kind of recycling possession. But when we had an option of breaking forward, I saw it from Willian, especially in that first half. Some of his passes were so off he was meant to kind of play it in space in front of his, fellow colleague, and instead it was going behind him or slowing or breaking just the complete pace out of a game at all. And it was just, it didn't help the fact that, we couldn't string passes together, that when a good move looked to be opening up, we still had players just completely breaking it down with poor decision making. And you could see that, some of these players have either never played together or, they're coming off a weird kind of pre-season, because it kind of felt like that.
Because we only had 2 pre-seasons game, and we had was it one against Brentford and then one against Villa, or was it the other way around?
We played QPR as well behind closed
that was
doors.
It. Not Brentford, QPR. Was it Brentford? We didn't have Brentford, did we?
We played Brentford in a friendly during the season before the FA Cup final, and we lost.
See, it's all. There's more people. Hold on, I'm going to go and say hello to some of the people. There is.
Right. I will go through YouTube as well. The originals, because I've seen Corey Austin's come in here with his Preston North End badge.
I haven't changed it, have I?
No, got Mike Kurtz in here. Thunder Road, Joshua Page, Jovi82. It's all the regulars. I think Pete Coulson's been in there. Someone said my moustache looked like should be adorned by somebody who prefers the company of people under the age of 16, which I'm not rising to at all. But yeah. Have you got anybody from Twitch? Is anyone twitching on Twitch?
There is a few people. There is. It just updated itself. Where is it? You shitbag. There we go. That's one I was looking for. Barry Gunn 71 says, "Evening, fellas." Russ Wilkinson on the Facebooking says, "Watching all the sideway passes from Xhaka and Ceballos and nobody breaking the lines or showing any creativity makes you realise how lucky we were to have Santi." I think Russ should come and do the show. That's exactly the point I was trying. Look at how big the graphics are. I think they've changed the size of the graphics on this. That's huge.
Very big, and they're getting all the words in there as well. I think
what I'm surprised about, Josh. Don't tell anyone I'm telling you this, but people have their pictures, don't they? Like Pete Coulson's got that. Why hasn't anybody put a porn picture in there? So when it pops up, don't do that, you scumbags.
Don't encourage them, Danny. It's gonna be a nightmare now. This is all we're gonna get is just, I thought we were the only tits that you'd get on the screen, but.
Let's get it back on track. So we're 1-0 up, 25 minutes gone, and then Ryan Fredericks decides to try and kill one of our players. What do you think about
that? There was some tackles going in, weren't they? This was like I think because it was 8 o'clock on a Saturday, it had thrown everybody off, and they thought it was Sunday League. It was a game so late on a Saturday, it might as well have been Sunday morning down on Hackney Marshes, because there were some robust challenges, I'd say. To be fair to Michael Oliver, he reffed it with the same kind of, if we put a dodgy tackle in, he'd give us this. He was consistent in that regard, but I'm not sure what to do with that at all.
I don't like him. He always has the look of, when you're at school and you didn't have a milkman at school. A prefect at school where they're a scumbag little nobody, and then as soon as they get made a prefect, they're walking around with their smart hair and their tie done up properly, going, "You're not allowed to do that," and I'm a pre. That's how I get the feeling that Michael Oliver is the whole time. He has a kind of look that you just want to give him a slap and tell him to shut up. I'm going to kick people if I want to. Yeah, am I wrong?
No, I think he's got that kind of air on him as well, especially as he's quite young compared to all the rest of the refs.
I call it traffic warden syndrome. You're a little nobody, and you've suddenly got a little bit of power. Much like moderators in most non-Arsenal related shows, because they're all scumbags. Oh, yeah, we've got one of the people who has been a mug and given and paid for the YouTube thing and got himself a little badge. Bill Butler. Hi guys. Bill Butler, we got away with that tonight. We certainly bloody did. And also, there's our Corey. And look what you get for all your wonderful money. You get your name in green, and you get a Preston North End badge next to your name. That's it. That's all you get. Shouldn't do it. But it's going to go to a good cause.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, who did you take out? Fredericks.
Oh, I can't remember, to be honest.
I don't even remember on the left-hand side, wasn't it?
If it was down the left-hand side, he's got a choice of taking out Saka. He didn't take out Kolasinac. He wouldn't have been. And to be fair, Ceballos spent the majority of the game, I think, on the floor rather than on his 2 feet. He was worse than a drunk on New Year's Eve because he was just constantly on the floor. Oh, we should say the AFC Freddy 8, Chris has given Bill Butler a pirate wave as well because
That's
he
part of the deal.
Yeah, part of the deal. If you go up to certain tiers, certain ABW regulars will do things for you. No, not like that. Get your minds out of the gutter.
Oh, here we go. These people are doing a better job than us. It was, in fact, Saka. I vaguely, and I think then we carried on playing, didn't we? Yeah, we did.
Oh,
Down
yeah,
the
because he was
left-hand side.
down. He was just on the floor.
Everybody's going, but I've been, no, we're going to carry on going, keep on attacking, and just laid down. And then he mustn't have been badly injured because a little while after the foul, he got up and then he was down by the touchline. I think he tried to put the ball across.
Yeah, that's why I didn't really think much further for it because they didn't show a replay of what happened. And it was just, oh, whoever was down is back up, and because he's not on the floor anymore. That's how I knew if he was okay. But just in general, in that first half, I think we did then start to get back into the game. But should we talk through their equalizer?
Hold on, well? Thunder's got a question. Chris still hasn't got sent. I've sent Chris your email, Thunder, and he hasn't got back to you because he's a scumbag. And Thunder Road says, any idea if you should take a cut of the membership money? Any donations and any of that? They take 30%. So if you know where I live, just come and put it through my letterbox or bury it in my front garden. But yeah, hold on. Yeah, Michael Michael from Sweden, who's been one of our longest Twitch followers. He says, when they moved the match to today, I thought, great, I get to enjoy watching the Arsenal on my birthday. Cue the Curb Your Enthusiasm outro. What does this? Can we sing Happy Birthday to him, Josh?
No, we can say Happy Birthday to him though, because we'll get sued for copyright, and then we'll lose any form of monetization that comes on this video. So,
oddly,
yes.
We made £7 from a YouTube video a while. Normally we make about 50p. Oh, fuck knows what happened. Probably because Chris was on. Go on then. Happy birthday, Michael.
Happy birthday, Michael. Presumably with your username of 29.99, you were a time traveller, and you're actually from that year.
Hold on.
You're from the year 3000.
Shouldn't that be 1999? And then that would have been the 19th. That's not going to work either. Anyway, Mike Hertz, he says, take my money. I'll sign up later. I've enjoyed hundreds of pods for free. It's only right to show some support. What are they, Josh, when they don't show support?
Well, even if they do, they're still freeloading, scumbag.
Scumbags. Oh, look at the fucking pirate. He couldn't come on the show, could he? But he's in there spamming the box. I'm delighted we got the win tonight, but can we touch on the nerve marked Leno and crosses?
Well, Chris, if you came on the show, yes, you could. But
we're not going to talk about his.
In fact, we're only going to talk about anything else.
What were you going to say before we're going to go on to his loving of a good punch rather than a Martinez style catch?
I was going to talk about how we conceded a goal. And to be honest, now that we've talked about it for so long, and the fact that we've completely changed the format of this show, I didn't take any notes.
So I think the format is, we've decided that it's going to be the post-show format. This is how we talk after a show. Right? It won't be long before I'm getting my phone out and showing him my fantasy football team that I've got Zaha, and I've got loads of points because I'm top of the ABW fantasy league at the moment.
Do you have good. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, though?
No such thing.
He's my striker.
Made up name.
I know, right?
Let's talk about Leno. No, talk about the goal. Their goal was in the 45th minute. Michael Antonio, who was it on ABW, says, I really rate him, and now he scored against us, so now we must shun him.
It was someone on this week's show, so it wasn't me. It wasn't you.
No.
It might have been Carl. It could have been Femi.
I'm going to say Femi because Carl doesn't know what he's talking about, does he?
Could have been Corey as well.
I'm going to give it to Femi.
Yeah.
Femi knows his stuff. Yeah, so what happened? Talk us through the goal.
Oh, I've got to try and remember. Oh, yeah, of course. It's where Kolasinac, you know the moon every year gets slowly like a centimetre away from the Earth as it moves out of orbit. That speed is still quicker than how quick Kolasinac tracks back. It's ridiculous.
Is it all his fault though? Because if the ball comes in from the right hand side, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, let's put it this way. If Kolasinac didn't do what he should have done, and he didn't do what he should have done, which was close his man down properly, then then you start looking at what Rob Holding's done. And he's the wrong... Well,
he's let his man come inside. Oh, geez,
he's
that
let
sounds
his
a bit
man
wrong.
come in. Yeah, well... That's a phrase for after dark, or if Chris is on.
It's not After Dark anymore, is it? John's renamed it. We will be relaunching the After Dark with a new name.
We will when
One
John
day
is finally allowed out here. Just
Yeah.
as you said that, your monitor or your webcam went out of focus, just to confuse all the listeners at home.
It's gone blurry, isn't
It
it?
went
Get on with
blurry.
it.
It went out of focus, but anyway, So he's let his man come over his shoulder. Now that you said it, you can't unsay it. There's no much better. And he put the ball in the back of the net. I thought there was a chance of offside, to be honest, when I first saw it. And I was really hoping it was offside. The only thing that I realised when I look back at it is he is just as offside as Aubameyang was for our goal.
Exactly what I was thinking.
So, yeah, what did you think of the goal? Because I know there's been a lot of people... it's not like Arsenal fans to be sensitive when people mention things on Twitter, but there were people getting annoyed about the fact that you can't say that conceding a goal just before half-time is the worst time to concede a goal. So what did you make of the fact that we did concede?
Well, they even worked as a team and decided, hold on, we like the Four Musketeers, where when one goes down, we're all going down. So the initial cross came in, and then that would have been Kolasinac who missed it, and then it went right in front of Gabriel, as he could have put it out, and then Leno missed it, and then Holding let a gentleman come beside. No, that's not helping either, is it? So they all decided we're all going to fuck up rather than just one person, because each one of those could have stopped the ball coming in. They could have blocked it. I think maybe Gabriel was a little bit concerned about putting it in the net himself. Leno didn't have the ability to punch it because he was 2 foot off the floor, and he'd have just punched it to someone else. Martinez is probably sitting at home looking at this going, I'd have caught that. Which is what should have happened. He should have caught it, everybody. But when you got that kind of attacking down that side like that, Kolasinac hasn't played for, like we said, none of you freeloading scumbags have gone and found out when was the last time Kolasinac played for Arsenal. You get one bloody job. Now go and do it, and we will use that and claim it as our own. Here we go. Archangel's putting something here. Kolasinac didn't get close enough. Leno doesn't attack the cross. Zoidberg. Holding was bullied by Antonio like Drogba used to scare Senderos. Hold on.
That was a great. I would say that was a great battle in the game between Antonio and Holding. I thought they both had chances where they were getting on top of each other, and you could see towards the end of the game with them sharing a joke between each other. Because I think Rob Holding knows he had a game today against Antonio. There's not all the forwards in the Premier League have got that combination of speed and strength. So I think he won't come up against that every week.
A good example of that is when you've got Leno standing in the middle, you've got little baby Bellerin there, and you've got Antonio next to Bellerin, and he's pushing Bellerin into Leno, and Bellerin's going, Signor! And Antonio's going, shut it, boy. And they're squeezing him up, and then you can see Bellerin's trying to shove him across, and then Antonio's got his left leg at a bit of an angle, and he's leaning into it, and he's going, "You're not moving me fucking anywhere." And I thought, that just shows the kind of power that he's got. He's got the speed, he's got the intelligence to do that on the corners, to get the crosses in, to do a really, really good player. And he has played a few times for England as well, hasn't he? Not that either of us give a shit about England.
I do give a shit about England. How dare you?
Oh no, you're the one who does, aren't you? You and Ellis.
And I. Ellis and I, the only two people that care about the England national team.
We've got a Facebook message. It says from Clinton May, mirrored last season's game. We got away with that tonight. 6 points out of 6. Followed up by the Dirty Pirate. If Rob Holder's hair hadn't receded so much, he'd have won the header. Coming from Chris. There again, it's to us.
Yeah, exactly.
We all feel his pain.
we can't do anything. Yeah, the only thing I share in common with Rob Holding is it takes just amount of time to wash our own face now.
It's getting longer and longer.
Can take considerably longer to wash our face than it did 2 years ago.
Oh,
but
dear.
what can we say about further through that game. But
at what point did you think that's it? We're settling for a point.
I didn't think we were settling for a point. But one thing that I thought was very lucky with us was the fact that West Ham, they all clearly saw what what's his name, Declan Rice had done against us 2 seasons ago, where he made his name in inverted commas in English football when he scored against us from 30 yards. So they were all trying it to try and boost their career and try and get linked to like a Chelsea or an Arsenal, basically a better club than West Ham. And that's what kind of helped us, that it would just firing balls straight down the middle, straight down the throat of Leno, and he could deal with them all day long as they bounced through to row Z, if not. So
couple of dodgy ones though, wasn't there? Where he got the ball came in, and you had that weird looking horse botherer, and then they thought, and the commentator was going, the horse botherer's got up and gone, and it wasn't. The head would come from Antonio. I think it was Antonio, and then Leno jumped up, got the ball, fell over Ceballos. I think it was Ceballos, and fell onto his neck. And you see that in slow motion, you think, wow, that is the kind of thing you could snap your neck with. Then we have to see if the ink was dry on the Martinez deal and then just erase it all. Because that looked so dodgy. Here you go. Archangel saying, every flat flapped, every cross not attacked, every catch drop. I'll be here to remind everyone.
Isn't that a follow-up from Sting? From
every breath you take. Could well be.
That's the missing verse. But
looking
sorry,
at
Danny.
The whole game, only 1 yellow card. I thought there'd been more. I thought they deserved more, didn't you?
I think they deserved more. Because I think the only one was for that, as you say, the Fredericks tackle. But in the second half, should we talk a bit more about Leno? Because I think that was the main talking point, because we've already mentioned the fact that everybody outfield couldn't pass a ball for toffee tonight. And so what did you make of Leno and his general performance? Because I thought
he's come back from an injury. This is only who played in the Charity Shield? Martinez, wasn't it? Yeah. So this is only his second game back from being out for 6. It's got to be 6 months without football, wasn't it?
Yeah,
maybe even more than 6 months.
Brighton game was during COVID. Was post lockdown, I think. Was it?
Okay,
It
Chris.
was the last game. Guendouzi played for us. Let's put it that way.
Never heard of him. Chris singing is every cross you drop, every punch you miss, every kick you take, every skill you fake, I'll be judging you. Oh, we are. Look, cometh King. Willian is shit. How dare you, sir?
To be fair, Chris is never this funny when he's on the show.
That's probably not him. It's probably Thingy Bob's dog.
It's probably.
But then in the second half, so we agreed, Leno, just going to take a while for him to get back to the player. He's been our best player for the last 2 seasons, up until when he got injured.
Yeah, I think we knew that Leno, that was one of the things that Martinez was better at him, or better than him at, was how he commanded the area in terms of how he claimed crosses. He was far more, he wanted to catch and hold on to a ball more often, but I think Leno is generally a little bit better, and we know he can cope with the pressure of having a player who's fit pushing him, as a second choice that's of decent quality, pushing him and trying to win the position over, which was something that Martinez didn't have in his locker and didn't seem like he really fancied, spending time trying to establish himself at Arsenal when he could go to Villa. He's going to start over Tom Heaton, who's injury prone. Pepe Reina's not there anymore. Yeah, he's going to start every week. So he doesn't need to think about that anymore. And it's just easier for him. He will play football, guaranteed to play football.
Plus he tripled his wages from 20 to 60 grand. Russ Wilkinson, Dracula handles crosses better than Leno did today. We're all joking about Leno, but I don't think any Arsenal fan hasn't got full confidence in Leno. I think we should stop talking about it because it's not even a point, is it? Oh yeah, Chris is on it again. My talents are wasted here. I'm going to AFTV, who it seems by the tweets were adhering to the social distancing of 6 in a room. There was 12 of them. Bless their socks. Fem's just put something. Here we go. I can see why we're still going after the Brentford keeper. I thought that it was that bloke from the mustard team in France that we were getting from Dijon.
Yeah, I think we'd be going after both, to be honest. The reason we're trying to get hold of Brentford keeper, I think, is a long-term one. And the fact that we'd be happy to loan him back to Brentford next season kind of says that he's a long-term one rather than, having him for just the sake of 12 months. We need him for longer. And maybe he's kind of seen as the long-term replacement for Leno as well.
I don't think either of them. The only game I've seen that Brentford player goalie play was in the playoff semi-final or the final where the bloke they conceded the free kick from the middle of nowhere, but shit goalkeeping.
That was the final.
There you go.
Joe Bryan scored from about 40 yards away.
On the far left-hand side, even he didn't expect it to go in.
No, he just did everybody with the eyes and just, stuck it down the near post, which is fair enough. But that, I'd say I'd caveat that with when you're defending set pieces, the keeper's not making that decision on his own. There's thoughts in terms of the set piece and coaching that he'd be out there and that far out of the bench. But I think K-Man 1867 makes a great point. That was evidence that we need Partey. I'd say, evidence we need a player like Partey in that midfield.
What role would he do there? As in, would we get rid of Xhaka?
No, I think we would move to a 3-man midfield because we don't really have that. Like a Xhaka, Ceballos, Elneny midfield doesn't really work. And switch out Elneny for Willock. That again isn't strong enough a midfield. We need somewhere else in there that can has got a bit more presence about them, a bit more established, and got that kind of got that experience about them that I think we are missing hugely. And I think another upside is you wouldn't see Kolasinac as much as well.
Going by the way Xhaka played the other night, the team I can never say they could have done with him back. Avon Teddington, I think people haven't yet realised how important David Raya deal might be for Arsenal. The question is not if he's going to be at Arsenal. The question is when, not if he's going to be Arsenal's number one. I think Avon's typed that a bit too quickly. I've only seen one game and I've judged.
There needs to be a comma in there somewhere, a couple of commas.
I think he's saying not
it's
when.
Not a question of when. It's
if. No, it's not if, it's when.
Yeah.
We got there eventually. There we go. Freeloading scumbags, Mike Hertz. The 11th of August 2018, v Sporting, the last time Kola played for Arsenal. 2018.
That's not right. Mike, you're on drugs. It's not.
We've been trolled.
I've definitely seen him play after that. Well, unless of course he's trying to put the wool over our eyes.
Easily done.
Easily done.
Carlito says if we get Partey and Aurora, Xhaka will be superfluous.
I completely disagree with that. You know how much Mikel Arteta loves a left foot, and he has spoken about having a left foot in defence. He'll want exactly the same for midfield. Xhaka will stay. Ceballos will be the one that I think will get rotated out. And you can see that Ceballos isn't consistent enough yet. And I think that's why we only got him on a loan as well. He hasn't got the consistency to be a top-level player. If he gets that, he'll be world-class. And I think on David Raya as well, although some people might say 6 foot isn't tall for a goalkeeper, there is at least one goalkeeper in the Premier League I can think of who is also 6 foot, and that is Matt Ryan of Brighton.
How tall was the Real Madrid one? Their greatest ever goalkeeper.
Like Casillas is 6 foot.
There you go.
Yeah.
Magnificent goalkeeper. Joshua Page says, this is Joshua Page on YouTube. Everyone seems to forget how great Leno was last year. I didn't. He was our best player for the whole 2 seasons he was playing for. Without him, we'd have been relegated. We'd be playing in the Championship.
Yeah, definitely. I think since Leno's come in, he's been a superb goalkeeper for us, and I think generally, I think he's just been one of our best players, like standout players, other than Aubameyang. He's absolutely been standout and consistent for us. As much as goalkeepers can go have bad games, our strikers have had bad games as well, to be honest. And again, Leno won't go to Bayern either. Bayern have got their goalkeeping situation sorted for the next 10 years.
Yeah, they just got someone in, didn't they? What did you think to at 1-1, and they said Elneny's coming on? Yet again, I had another Wenger flashback when we going, hold on, we're playing at home, it's 1-1, we need to score a goal. Let's bring on Danielson, or let's bring on one of those other crab-like defensive midfielders, and then,
we
scored.
I thought bringing Elneny was the change I would have made. We should talk about Pepe as well, who'd come on earlier. But I'll talk about him in a second. We'll go through Elneny first, or not coming on. He was the change I think we had because we had no control in the midfield. I think Ceballos' passing wasn't great. I think the fact that he's finally made a forward run and burst into the box is what slowly kind of broke through. Was the thing that we needed to see basically against West Ham, because we didn't have any runners from midfield, and it's almost like we stood out on the touchline to kind of put a rocket up the arse of Ceballos, because you could see as soon as he obviously glanced over, saw Elneny warming up, he thought, oh bloody hell, I better go and do something. And I think it was a great piece of off the ball movement to get through, and the pass for Nketiah was just absolutely perfect.
Avon's updated his statement if you want to read it. You got it right. Avon has. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. I didn't know if you want me to read it or...
go on, you read it. I
will say it. Avon Teddington has said, people haven't yet realised the significance of the David Raya deal. He will be Arsenal's #1, either this season or next.
As I say on Sky Sports, that's a shout.
That's a very big shout. I might say from the 20... Oh, no, that's the problem with the year 2022 and stuff. It's the 20... It's going to be the 22-23 season is where I'd kind of expect, Raya may be pushing to be #1.
Thunder says Oblak is only 6'1", great keeper.
Yeah, there are great goalkeepers that aren't 6'5" and full of muscles, as the great Remember That Hats once sung about. That's for Land Down Under.
Pramod says Bellerin had a poor game. Wings were dead today. I thought in the for the entire game, if the ball went down the right hand side, it was Ceballos and Bellerin doing 1-2s, and then Bellerin crossing it to no one. And if it went down the left hand side, then it would be either Saka or Aubameyang, and they would be running in with it, and then low passing it or having a shot themselves on. So there was a lot of unevenness, isn't there? We missed Tierney. Ryan Costa says Tierney injured. He had a tight hip, Ryan, so he should be all right. Didn't want to race it. Creftan, remember we're talking about the fullbacks. Creftan says, I am 203 centimetres, that's witchcraft, which I think is 6'6" or 6'7". Hold on. Chris is 1'5", and he says that's 6'6".
I think he says he's 5'10", doesn't he? Does Chris?
Cover the fullbacks and the Pepe thing like you were going to.
I think the fullbacks for them... not Men Without Hats. Men Without Hats do the safety dance. Sorry, Darren Clifford, you have corrected me. But yeah, in terms of the fullbacks, I think you could see from Bellerin's side that I think his link up with Willian wasn't great, and you could kind of see how bad Fulham last week.
They're going to finish bottom.
To look at was they were very much cannon fodder for us, because Willian was just all over the shop, just running the show against Fulham, and now we've come up against an established Premier League side, and there's been a bit of we've not been great. And Saka on the other side, again, as we've kind of said, the guy hasn't played a game for us for God knows how long, and I think he would have been a lot better if he also had Tierney in behind him as well, a player who is match fit and has also been kind of key to, if you remember that kind of Aubameyang goal that we've now kind of given the moniker of the Arteta goal. The player that starts that is generally a long ball from Tierney. And I think that's a big thing to look at, is that how important Tierney is in that build-up play or early part of the build-up play. And
because he's got everything, hasn't he? He's got the pace of Saka. He's got the better defender than Kolasinac, and he's got the crossing ability of
Rivaldo.
Yeah, there you go.
Because you can't pick an Arsenal player, can you?
No,
for crossing ability, you're going through.
The last one who was good down there was Steve Williams. And that was in the mid-1980s.
Yeah.
There's one for the dads.
Exactly. And then just Pepe's cameo, I think, is the best way to describe it. He had some interesting moments, much like he did last season. There's a big thing. But I think he's going to get... I still think this season is going to be where we see the best from Pepe, but I think he needs to be starting some games. And
you couldn't drop. Someone asked us, "Are we going to talk about Willian?" That's the first thing we were talking about on the beginning of the show. But you can't drop Willian after he had a game like he did against Championship side Fulham in the first game of the season, can you?
No, exactly. And I think that might have, I'd kind of thought after I kind of saw the Fulham game that maybe we'd see Pepe play like the home fixtures, Willian play the away fixtures. But as you say, if a player gets 2 assists and is very crucial to the other goal as well, because I'm not calling that other assist. That's not an assist. Not in real football, anyway. Fantasy football, sure. That's that. He got 3 assists. He got 2. All to be realistic.
You agree on 2.5 and move on?
Sure. 2.4. 2.4 assists for him. But yeah, he was poor today, and that was I think when we did the rumours that we were rumoured with him coming in, I think that was the worry. That was the Willian I remember seeing for Chelsea, is that one that blows very hot or cold. And I think he possibly could have come off earlier. But as you say, I think the kind of plan Arteta would have had before the season would have started would have been, I'll start Pepe against West Ham, and Willian will play against Fulham.
Well, the difference between Pepe and Willian, the main thing is their speed, isn't it? Willian is the tricky one who's going to run in and out and cut in all the time, and Pepe is going to be the one that's going to run at 90 mile an hour unless they manage to barge him out onto the touchline, which is what happens as soon as he come on.
Yeah, it was kind of the problem, wasn't it? That if you even touch him a little bit, he gets so out of control because he's going so fast. He then just ends up stumbling over, and you almost want him to fall over more often because he'd win fouls instead. But because he wants to, keep himself kind of pure, he wants to stay up on his feet as much as he can and continue with the run, because he's got so much to prove as well. It's another thing to add. But yeah, I think that kind of covers. I know we need to talk about the other goal. I know we did with Nketiah. So what else do we do in this?
We only covered it a little bit. It's because we're bringing up the signs, and then I thought El Nenny's going to come on, and the only way that's going to work is if we're going to push Ceballos forward. But Ceballos has only played 1.5 games for us since he's come back, and then Ceballos saw he was going to be hauled off and went, "Hold on a sec, ding dang dong, have a little bit of this, put it through, lovely." And another gnat's testicle away from being offside, and Nketiah scores, and then. After that, I think we could have had another 1 or 2 goals, couldn't we? Because West Ham, they'd gone, oh, fuck, we ain't going to win this now. It almost looked like they'd given up, didn't it? Or did it?
I think they were starting to push for it, didn't they? Because Aubameyang got in almost immediately afterwards, and I was kind of cursing when he didn't bury that shot he had, and it just went straight down the throat of Fabianski. You need to kind of get closer to a goalkeeper of that quality to get past him. You weren't going to beat him from that distance, and there was the space for him to run into as well. I think it was generally just quite a tired performance from our players. You kind of see it that they're not fully fit at all.
We've had a bit part pre-season, because then you think, well, we just finished the season. Can we have a pre-season when the season just finished and then the next season starting? And I think having a 2-week gap from the Charity Shield to the first game of the season, that kind of messed it up for us as well. But it's going to come good, isn't it? Because in the way we played, we got 6 points. We scored 5 goals and conceded 1 in the first 2 games of the season.
Yeah, and I think that's a great base to start out from. And we're going into a difficult period from now. I think Liverpool's our next game. Then we have Leicester, I think.
Leicester's midweek, and then
and
then it's
that's the Carabao Cup, isn't it? That one,
yeah.
Or the FL Cup.
We got Leicester on the 23rd, 7:45, and then on the 28th we got Liverpool, another 8:15 kickoff, which is probably a little bit better for us because it means I'm going to be awake. But Maitland-Niles, what do you reckon to that? Him playing so well yet again and being dropped. Who took his place?
Saka played over him.
See, I don't like that. I think Maitland-Niles has produced, no matter where you stick him, every game he produces, and Saka's been a bit flaky. Saying that, he had a big hand in both the goals, so I kind of take that back. But when he wasn't doing that, I was a little bit concerned about Saka. He didn't seem on it. He didn't seem sharp there again. If you're saying that's, I agree with you. Most of the team did look like that.
I think they all they all didn't look fit, and I was a little surprised that we didn't see, that Maitland-Niles didn't come in. But then when Tierney goes off injured, and I thought we might have seen some rotation there. But
but we're not questioning Arteta, are we? Arteta knows.
No, this is still part of his honeymoon period as well.
6 months.
We all agreed.
30 games he's played as manager. Not played. Yeah. After 30 games.
But I think we've got so many, fixtures coming up. It's been thick and fast for him that, if we're playing badly and we're still winning, I think we've got more faith in what we've seen from Arteta. This isn't like if we go on the Emery run of 22 games unbeaten, which was a bit like, but we were playing shocking football. I think we can all agree as a fan base that we won't see 22 games unbeaten and it all be getting through by the skin of our teeth, lucky football. I think we're going to do it. Yeah, I think we're going to do quite well, generally.
Got a question from Pete Coulson. I'll give it to you. He says, considering we play the bin dippers next week, would you play Ozil and Guendouzi against Leicester or let them rot in their own smegma? As Chris would say, on a side note, Ozil tweeted a picture of him playing in his Real Madrid kit. Real Madrid have just got rid of one of their creative players, Bale, the croc. Any chance that Ozil could fuck off to Real Madrid?
In the reverse, if everything's going back in time.
Yeah.
Bale's going back to Spurs, so we'll send them back Ozil. It's an exchange deal.
Maybe. Anything in that?
I don't think there is anything in that. Just hopeful thinking from Arsenal fans. What can we say?
He had a little thing in his tweet saying that if the gods decided it's right for him to move, then he'll move. And I thought, well, the gods haven't decided to let you play a game in the last 2 years, have they?
Exactly.
You might want to pick another one.
Yeah.
Remember the Viking ones? They don't fuck around. They're my favourite this week.
And I think, for the Liverpool game, I've heard Guendouzi's back in training. Whether or not that means he's fully integrated or it's just a case of you don't want to try and sell a player who, hasn't done anything close to training. Sorry, you're keeping me up.
Pramod said, I've been up since 1. I've only had 6 hours sleep. He says Ozil would go to Başakşehir, Turkish team. I think they're the one with all the money.
Doesn't Gael Clichy play for them?
I think he did. And I think Adebayor played there as well. I think we should start. There was a question, wasn't there? I'll ask you this one as well. From Kerry Tainanen, why Ainsley didn't start over Tierney? Do you think maybe it's just too short notice? Huh?
I think if we'd if we play 4 at the back, I think Maitland-Niles would have played left back for us. But because we're still going with this 3 at the back system, I think that's why we've seen, we saw Kolasinac come in.
Okay. Someone's asked here, Sire's asked if we saw the under-23 game. I did, I watched it all, but I missed those 2 goals, so I was making a drink. So we're going to pretend that didn't happen. There you go.
I also missed those 2 goals, but I didn't watch the game at all.
Okay. Joshua Page on the YouTube says, Ozil will leave in 9 months, not any sooner, unfortunately. Well, that's true. 1st of June next year. Mark your calendar, ladies and gentlemen. Crefton says, don't mention the Euro. You just made me mention it. I don't know what the hell it is.
Well,
there we go. Go on.
I think I was going to say we were only meant to do about half an hour on these, weren't we?
God, we've done 51 minutes.
I know, right? So I was going to say probably time for us to wrap it up.
Wise words.
So thank you all for joining on the various different platforms that we're now on. We're basically multi-channel. At some point, you'll be able to tap 3 numbers into your Sky remote and we'll pop up.
Yep.
Up there. You'll see our lovely faces wherever you'd like to see them. But yeah, thank you to everybody who's joined us on the YouTube, on the Facebook, and on the Twitch. I'm sorry, everybody on Twitch, you've had to put up with Chris being in your chat box. There are selling points of being on the other platforms for that reason. But yeah, I don't know when the podcast is this week because we have a midweek fixture as well, so probably on Thursday. But I couldn't tell you who's on any of them. We are planning on trying to get some people who haven't been on for a while back on. Some of them may have been gallivanting around Southern Europe.
Drinking wine
and eating a lot of red meat. The other one, I think, is now basically like mini Ornstein. And the other one is currently doing a lot of cricketing, I think, because cricket season is up.
That's it. It's the return of the Holy One. So he will come and he will abolish. He will forgive you all your sins because he is an actually ordained minister. The Reverend Raj is returning. And unlike Baby Jesus, it's not going to be once a year. Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. And he will bring plenty of holy water with him because this podcast has gone down the drain since it was last on. So, Danny, I can only have one thing to say to you.
Go on.
Please, could you turn this off before we have to start going through what's in my globe?
Oh, you are a tease. Thank you very much, Josh. Thank you very much, everybody. Good night.